It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Ace, BK, Truth, Rick.S.T.E.R, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
Welcome to The Real Word Season 7, Episode 25. Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting us so far, thus far. You can follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/TheRealWord7. That's The Real Word 7 on Facebook, or The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Facebook. You can catch us on Instagram at The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram. That's at The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram. Catch us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/C for channel /The Real Word TV. That's The Real Word TV, one word, on YouTube. We're also on cable television every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon, 4 p.m. and 1 p.m. You can also catch us on podcasts. That's Pandora, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts at The Real Word Podcast. I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself.
Man, we everywhere. Like, they already know we everywhere.
Facts.
Everywhere. Everywhere you go, they feel the energy. You feel me? But, you know, it's Ace Irving in the building. Add me on Instagram, Ace Irving 11. If you ain't no 11, I got my tea, but I'm drinking water because I'm healthy. Oh yeah, if it ain't no 11, you know it ain't me, bro.
And we have two reoccurring guests, two brothers in the building that's been on the platform before. I got to my right of me. Introduce yourself, brother.
My name is Tarrantino, co-founder of the non-profit 501c3 organization, Gangsters Giving Back / God Gives Blessings, along with my co-founder, Louis J. Lopez Macho. Thank you for listening.
All right. We thank you for being here with us today, brother. We also got another reoccurring guest. Introduce yourself.
Yo. You know who this is? Ivelaw Peters. You should follow me on Instagram, Ivelaw Peters, IVELAW, last name Peters.
He's an actor.
I'm active model, digital marketer. You know what? Former Candy Wiley model.
Well, we see you in the Matrix.
Might be in Matrix one day. You can also follow my cooking page.
You already are in the
Bachelor
Matrix.
too. Cooking with Irving Bachelor. You can follow me on my cooking page. You can follow my company page. That's kind of funny on Instagram. And
He does everything.
Tell about the chicken.
And Ivelaw Peters on my company page. I fry chicken and everything. I do everything.
Nice.
He's on the Matrix. He's everywhere.
It's going crazy. We also have a very special new guest in the building, my brother right here to the left of me. Introduce yourself, brother.
Mr. Cardi, yeah.
Yeah, peace, people. This Nitty, you know what I'm saying? Monster Nitty, formerly Monster Nitty, but right now you can catch me on Instagram and Facebook. Nitty gets the bags. Nitty _get_the_DA_bag. And I'm just coming home for doing 16 years, and I'm trying to give back to the people, give them some type of understanding, and you know what I'm saying, educate and edify, you know.
You say you can't come out wearing Cardi,
Alright, so
16 years, but we still stepping.
Got to, baby.
Alright. So we got two brothers that talks about gangsters giving back. So let's dive deeper into it, if you guys don't mind. You started your whole company with your brother, you were saying earlier, and you call it Gangsters Giving Back. So what's your definition of Gangsters Giving Back? Because some people might take that in a negative way when they hear the word gangster.
Of course. Gangsters always had a negative connotation to it, attached to it. And, we look at
different ethnicities and how they are portrayed when using the word gangster. You know, Scarface, The Godfather. But today's youth, in order to captivate and cultivate their minds, we have to be of the people. So if they identifying as gangsters, if they're identifying as something of that culture, they're gonna grasp it. They're gonna grasp the word gangster. Oh, gangsters, I'm a part of that. I'm a gangster. But no, we not doing. Gangster is feeding your family the right way, not going selling drugs, killing people, robbing people, kidnapping people. Gangsters is, for me, I work 2 9-to-5 jobs. I work for the city, New York City Health and Hospitals, and overnight I work for FedEx. But I also did 17 years in prison. When I was 21, I got released in 2018, changed my life around, got into the non-profit work, denouncing gun violence, working for an organization that also use the word gangster. And gangster is just something that people will grasp. It's something that they might be like, oh, gangster, but once they really do their homework and find out what we're about, they'll be captivated and cultivated.
Can I interject on that word? All right, peace, people. To me, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I did 16 years. But I did a total of 29 years in prison for being a gangster. And to me now, it's to the point of I define gangster. And that word to me, it means getting all necessary goals succeeded through extreme requirements. That's what gangster means to me. So your mother, your father, your grandmother, they can be gangsters because they're getting all necessary goals succeeded through extreme requirements. So if you're a gangster, that's what you're doing. You're doing whatever's conducive to you, your family, and your loved ones.
So let's dive into that, because there is certain chances we can say that people take in order to get to where they want to go, and there's different kind of crimes. We know that. There's blue collar crimes, white collar crimes, and it generally is white collar crime is the crimes that they'll make the most money off of and do the less time. Because it's mostly people with the white collars, basically like people with good jobs, executives, white people. Let's put it out there. Yeah. And the other color crime, we say blue color crime, was more so blue came from the color of the shirts that the uniformed workers would wear. Like, bus drivers wear blue shirts, cops wear blue shirts, those are the blue shirt people. But the blue shirt people, believe it or not, are still on a higher tier than people that's underneath, which would be the public assistance people, because we all know, we all grew up in Brooklyn. 9 times out of 10, when someone is living in the projects, if they know somebody that work in MTA or something, they think they up, like, yo, they got an MTA good, like every good. Or post office, another blue shirt. Like, yo, you work at the post office, you lit. Like, like those are the dream jobs for them at the end of the day. But then we see like the people who commit crimes. Usually it's people from low income neighborhoods, people that didn't have those certain avenues to do certain things, and so it gets difficult for them to move, And so like they take the most risk with the lowest reward at times. Not all the time, but sometimes. As in, like, a guy might come and he might steal 30 million. He might do like 2 years. Next thing you know, somebody come and then they kill you for $300 and they doing 25 years, 30 years. Yeah. So we gotta look at that from that point of view too.
That's
what y'all got to think about that?
Got a chip on the shoulder, man.
Even like if someone robbed a store or something, they might get more years than somebody that did, do like something like steal everyone pension from a company.
Yeah. That
person will probably get a less year being in a prison where it's like, it's just chill.
So which one is gangster?
I think the one the high profile crime, because you get paid the most, you don't have to go back into doing that again. Like even if you get caught, right, you can stash away that cash somehow, right?
That's what I was gonna say. 9 times out of 10, they keep majority of the money.
And then
they never recover that.
Then they come out they're good. But that person that do that low petty crime, you can get put in the system probably might be someone young. You might get put in the system, and then when they come out, it'd be hard for him to find a job.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, because it wasn't hard for me to find a job. I worked for the city, New York City Health and Hospitals. I did 17 years in prison. So, you know.
But you went to college while in jail too.
I went to college while in jail.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you still got your degree.
And you said even how hard that was to do, right?
Yeah, it took me 4 years to get into the college. It took me 4 years, 4 different trials, and it was difficult to get in there. But once I got in there, I proved myself, proved what I could bring to the table. And when I first came home in 2018, I had a menial job, doing service, lifting stuff and moving stuff around and stuff like that. I said I couldn't do this for minimum wage, so I reached out to my brother, and he hired me as an outreach worker for a nonprofit organization to help the youth.
Nice.
That's good.
That's a good story. That's awesome.
The community, man. Get outside the four walls and give back.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your experiences, because this is your first time on the platform, so we want to know more about you.
So me again, at Nitty Gets the Bag, Instagram and Facebook. My thing is this. I came up in the crazy 80s when the crack era was running rampant. And I got caught up in that wave. And it became a thing where, fast money was, that right there was everything everybody wanted to get. So, like I said, I became, I'm not going to say product of my environment. That word is used too loosely. My thing was, I became, a stigma. Because that's what was going on. Because pretty much, all right, Biggie said it best. You either got a wicked jump shot or you're selling crack rock. That's
so
what we
school?
had. That's the opportunities we had.
So about school?
School was, put it like this. They were giving us books that our grandmothers had. So they didn't really edify our education. Right now, today, you got these charter schools that, like my little niece is 10 years old, and she goes to a school where she learns Mandarin. My little nephew, he learns architect and he learns robotics. That's today. And I think that comes because the hood now is gentrified. You have white kids in the hood. Back then, you had black kids. So, it's a thing where, okay, if you got 5 people in a closet, it's going to be chaos. The hood was overcrowded. That's what you had. You had liquor stores. You had guns on the corner. You had drugs. This right here was fueling the depression, the misery, and the poverty. So that right there was accessible to us. Now, once you gentrify the hood, and you got black people, migrating down south, so white people that moved to Long Island because they were scared of the crazy 80s, the crack era, they're moving back into the hood. And they're pushing us out. You got rent $2,000, for a 1-bedroom. Come on, so it's crazy. So, like I said, I got caught up in that crack era, and the results, I did 29 years. I did a 1 to 3. Then I went down to Virginia. I did 4 years. Came out, went back down to Virginia, and the money was that good. Wow. I did 8 years. Then I came home 2003 from 95. I came home in 2003, and I got back on my Brooklyn BS, and I got sentenced to 20 years because I was old school, and my mentality was I'm on my Brooklyn BS, and I wound up catching 20 years. But while I was in prison, I took advantage of the opportunities. College, vocationals. Right now I have a computer operator and programmer certificate. I have my associate's degree from NIAC. I'm continuing my degree, and I'm trying to get my associate's degree for organizational management at NIAC. So I'm not sitting on my thumb doing nothing. The gangster world, like I told you, to me is redefined. Getting all necessary goals succeeded through extreme requirements.
I like that because there's a lot of positive things you said, and like certain things I I thought about like the crack epidemic when it started. They say like they put the crack in the neighborhood, right?
Of course.
Like, and then like
crack is still in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
it's still there.
You still see it. Some people still dying from it.
Different now.
Yeah. Molly, fentanyl.
It's rap now.
There you go. There you go.
Rap is the new crack.
Peace, brother.
He told you crack in the 80s, but we in 2022. The new crack is the rap game.
Yes, it is. Oh yeah, you're right.
In regards,
the years you get on selling crack or whatever was extreme years.
The Rockefeller laws. Exactly.
So they put it in the neighborhood, and then they put all the years on it if you get caught with it. If you got caught with some weed, Rockefeller laws are too. Like you get 10 years. It's crazy.
But keep in mind, what does that do? That reflects to the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yeah.
Where there's a generation gap now. Now you have women raising men. Now our mothers who have to work 2 jobs aren't there to supervisors, give us that adult supervision, that parental supervision. So now the kids run rampant.
Yeah.
They don't have nobody to, give them that adult supervision. So kids out there and they're gravitating to the drug dealer, the dude with the Gucci links, the Gucci sneakers. And I mean, that right there, that's magnetizing. So I mean, that's what it was for me. Yeah. My mother had to work. I didn't have no father in the house. So my mother had to work, and that left me, vulnerable. And I mean, I seen the gangsters, I seen the drug dealers, and that was mesmerizing to me because I'm like, oh, what? They doing this, and why should I go to school and get a menial job that consists of me being a porter? Because I mean, let's be for real. We were graduating out of school and we were becoming, I guess, porters, COs, mailmen. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with a mailman, but like, you know what I'm saying? Back in that era, it was a song. It said, I think it was Biz Markie, nigga, please, you work for UPS. So I mean, come on, let's think. That was the vapors. Exactly. Now they make money, but at the end of the day, that was looked down upon.
UPS always made money.
Yeah, they made money.
But I have a friend whose father did UPS the entire time. I know my friend, and that's over 20 years. And he lived decent for a very long time.
But if I'm selling crack,
his father played golf and everything.
Exactly.
Crazy money, man.
But if I'm selling crack, I'm making, you know what I'm saying, $4,000 a day.
Wow.
And I'm going out of town and tripling that. I mean, that right there is more addictive than the crack we sell. The lifestyle.
They're making that sale. So you were living like a crazy cool lifestyle.
Here, dog. Look, listen. Why do you think I went back down to Virginia after doing 4 years? I went back down there 3 months afterwards.
Is Nitty get the money, man?
Nitty get the bags. That was my motto. And I mean, like with me, I came up in an era where, you know what I'm saying, dudes were arrogant, dudes were gangster, dudes ran around. And I mean, Brooklyn back in the days where, you know what I'm saying, dudes, like, it is what it is. What's up? And I mean, my aura, my persona, I had to exude that.
Yeah.
My name was an acronym, Nitty, N-I-T-T-Y. It meant, nigga, I'm 10 times y'all. Excuse the French. That's what it was. Nigga, I'm 10 times y'all. So
you go with acronyms.
I mean, that's my forte right there. I want to give definition. I want to give meaning to anything I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to just say, okay, I'm a gangster. Okay, my name is Nitty. No, I define what I do. I'm living it. I talk it. I walk it. And it is what it is.
Talk the walk.
At least you define Nitty, because sometimes some rappers are Nitty.
Yeah, they just
like,
talk.
what does it mean, Nitty?
Frank Nitty the Enforcer.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of rappers have a meaning behind their rap. Their names sometimes.
There you go. It doesn't have sustenance to me.
So it makes sense. You broke it down.
There you go.
What I was gonna say is, I feel like there's a very big difference between a thug and a gangster. I feel like, to me, a thug is someone that's more so like a bully, like someone that just does things because of either their position and their power and their ability to make someone act in a desired way. I think a gangster is someone that gets things done in their way. Like they don't ask for permission. They do whatever they want to do. They take care of their family. They take care of their friends, and they're well respected. And if you disrespect them, you're gonna have to feel the wrath of everything that comes by. I feel like that's gangster.
Valid point.
For me. Like to me, I always see my dad as a gangster. Some people see, I don't know, some people see all of us sitting here as that. You know? But we all handle our business at the same time. And we all probably all agree that if disrespect will not be tolerated.
Of course.
Of any kind.
We cut them off.
But at the same time, a gangster is also a gentleman, as in that they usually 9 times out of 10 give their respect first, like because they know what they're capable of doing. Like let all man know thyself. Like me growing up, I used to watch more so like the Italian mobster movies, the way that they move with the nice suits and they sit around and they always find a way around the man, quote unquote, to take care of their people, take care of their family, always broke bread, always try to make home, you know, they always loved their kids, took care of their wife, even if they had a side chick, they took care of their wife and their side chick, make sure everybody was comfortable, make sure everybody was respected, and that's how I seen it. I'm like, yo, that's gangster, you know?
That's right.
It was an organized crime too.
Yeah, but that's how I always seen it. I'm like, yo, these is respectable dudes. Like they do what they gotta do. They get money. They into enterprise, and they doing what they gotta do and building up their community, because that's what they were doing.
Can I point something out as far as thug and gangster?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
All right, a gangster is more organized, more suave, more savvy.
Yeah, of course.
A thug is somewhat, he's brutal. He's gonna do what he feels he has to do.
With no regard.
There you go, with no regard. So I mean, we graduate. I mean, if you're living that lifestyle, if you're, I don't want to say glorify, a villain, but I mean, I came up through the trenches. I did the thug thing where, I had no regard. I'm running around, I'm snatching chains, I'm beating up, dudes for no apparent reason. I used to go at it with the Decepticons back in the days. And we used to go, we went at it.
And the Decepticons used to be for the low lives, right?
Yeah, low lives and MOB. I was MOB.
Okay.
So, it was a thing where, we had no disregard. We popping on dudes on the train. So a thug really doesn't really give a F.
Yeah.
Now, a gangster, he's more suave, more savvy, and he's organized. So that to me, that's what differentiates the two. In my opinion.
What y'all think? Tank, you want to speak on it?
Yeah, I think Nitty, eloquently elaborated on the definition of gangster as opposed to thug. When you spoke about thug, Ricard, I was thinking about Tupac and his definition of thug life. The hate you gave. I forgot what the life stands for, the acronym life, but the hate you gave. So basically he equated thug with all the hate that you see as a child growing up, as an infant. When I was young and I was living in my hood, I didn't know the difference between white people and Spanish people. My mom, she used to tell me, Spanish people, no, that's a Spanish person. That's a white person. Because I was around black people, but it was Spanish people in my hood, but I couldn't equate it. And my mother had to tell me the difference. Like, no, that's a Spanish person, that's a white person.
Okay.
The only white person that I seen in my hood was either a police or a crackhead.
Or prostitute.
A prostitute. In East New York, I'm from East New York, Brooklyn.
Oh, you know me over there.
That's a fact. As a child, we see all these harmful and hurtful images, and it becomes us. It becomes part of our DNA, part of our daily living, and we don't know how to express it. They got something that you call feel, deal, and heal. At the age of 12, I might have seen somebody beating my mom's down, a dude beating my mom's down over a debt, which is true facts. And I didn't know how to feel that emotion made me feel hateful towards people, right? I didn't know how to deal with it. So in turn, I didn't know how to heal from it. So now, I'm a young dude, 12 years old, seeing my mom's having to fight a grown man over some drug stuff, and I'm helpless. I'm a 12-year-old kid. I can't do nothing, you know. But now, as I grow up, I'm 22, 23. I'm grown. I got muscles now. I'm
exactly.
I'm like,
exactly.
So now I might see a dude beating up a woman, and those same emotions that I harbored when my mother was getting beat up by that dude, they come to me, but I don't know what it's about. I just feel it. I just feel that anger. I just feel that hate for this dude that's beating up on that woman. So we never know how to heal. We got to learn how to feel, deal, and heal from our trauma.
Good point.
That's something that we got to do.
Good point.
Because that grown ass man beating on that woman, he's more powerful than that woman, and she's helpless. That's like some people in the hood could be helpless in the situation they're in. You know, and then that person is beating down on that person. It's like, that's crazy, man. That's
but look, Lord, as a kid, I didn't know how to, you know, I'm like, you know, I might cry, I might do whatever, but now, as I'm a grown man, now I can deal with it. I'm going to deal violently. You beating up on that lady, I'm going to deal with you violently. But I don't know where that came from, but we got to look back into our past traumas and see where it came from.
That's deep. That's deep.
Allow me to interject on that. I think a lot of times we deal with nature versus nurture. Dealing with, don't say, all right, the premise of who we are as humans. Okay, we're social creatures. We're, you know, we're loving, we're caring, we're compassionate. We have empathy. But if we're nurtured in an environment that consists of poverty, depression, misery, hate, this right here is what we become, and this is how we act out. This is how we expound. This is how we interact with our women. You know, I got misery. I'm unemployed, so I'm gonna take my anxiety, my anger out on you. I mean, that right there is an insecurity. I mean, we as a black people are resilient with perseverance, and I mean, we're stronger than we know. We don't really utilize our full potential because we're too much, what's the word I'm going to look for? We're too much indoctrinated to think and believe we're inferior when everything derived from Africa. We look at the first Eve. I think it was on Discovery Channel. The first Eve was a black woman. You know what I'm saying? And so people migrated from Africa to Europe. And I mean, in certain continents, you had to have a lighter complexion. In Africa, you had to have a darker complexion to pretty much interact with that environment. So you had to have broad nose, you had to have a dark complexion, you had to have melanin. So as people migrated, because we all descended from Africa, so I don't care what people try to teach you or brainwash you or manipulate you into thinking, we all derived from Africa. So I mean, you know, as time went along, people used the thing of trying to separate and divide and conquer. That right there was, if I'm not mistaken, that was Napoleon's scheme. That was a lot of schemes devised by these, how can I say? I'm gonna say Caucasians, to separate us and make us think we're inferior. So I mean, if you, again, like I said, the nature versus nurture thing, if you're nurtured one way of thinking, and this right here is inherent to your growth and development, there's going to be a lot of conflict. There's going to be a lot of, you know, depression, a lot of things that, you know, keep you on an inferior level.
When you say chaos create control.
What you think about the gangster versus thug?
I mean, you know, I agree with all y'all points. Like, a thug, somebody rulers, like, he's always on go. Like, he don't really care what consequences come after. Like, he don't really care. It's basically like, he mainly live in the moment. Like, he don't really think about all the X, Y, and Z that come all after. It's just like, it's basically like, you mess with a thug, it's like, 9 out of 10 you might get this. Like,
it's gonna be violent.
If you don't get this, like, that's by the grace
it's
of
gonna
God.
turn out violent.
It's really the grace of God that you ain't get that. That's really the only thing that saved you. But the gangsters, you know, somebody that take care of their fam, but you know what they say, like, usually they always say the people that's the nicest, once you see the other side, like, oh, I see why you so nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's really what it is. But yeah, like I always say, like, gangsters, I always looked at it as somebody that take care of their family. Like, if you don't take care of your kids, I can't respect you, man.
No respect.
I can't respect you. It's like,
no respect
you don't take care of your kids, so like,
yeah.
I already know what type of individual you are. Like,
You're not deserving.
Pay that child support.
You're not deserving. Yeah, take care of that.
like if you shot that club or pay the, like, yeah, you might not like the chick, but at the end of the day, you gotta take what comes with it. Like, take care of the kid, because at the end of the day, that's still your kid. That's still your kid. No matter how much you hate that baby mama, just make sure you keep your receipts.
Take care of your responsibility.
Yeah, just make sure you keep the receipts so she can't hit you with some BS.
Yeah.
Exactly,
you know,
man.
Like, if no way you got your receipts, like, because you can still win. It's all about showing the receipts.
That's it. There you go. There you go.
The court, they can't deny the receipts. They're like, all right, this man take care of his kid. They're like, sorry, woman, we can't hit you with this. Like, he already do what he gotta do for his kid. So,
Yeah.
like, as long as you take care of your kid, and you know, like, the other side, but the other side, like, I think, like, if I come off nice and you come off with the wrong way, like, I personally do believe, yeah, you got the right to do the other side, because, like, yo, I came at you with no harm, so so like, I don't really see a wrong when somebody do that. If you don't want smoke, don't light it.
It's like the FOI, the fruit of Islam.
Yeah.
And they say that they are non-violent, but they are willing to defend themselves up until death.
Exactly.
Sorry, mama. Like,
Exactly.
I know you be telling me to call a teacher, but I ain't calling no teacher to nobody in this prison here.
No, we not
my mother know this because I used to tell her that all the time.
We not doing that.
She's like, oh, go to, if somebody hit you, I'm like, nah, man, you gonna see the swamp call, you gonna have to probably pick me up or whatever. But you already know what I'm about to do.
Can I to expound upon bathroom real quick?
Yeah, just.
I think I can definitely get around the camera. Excuse me, people. Nitty Get the Bags is stepping out the building for a second.
All right, Nitty Get the Bags is stepping out the building. But take Tarrantino forever on Instagram. Rashaan Brown on Facebook. I want to expound upon what Ricard was talking about, and one thing about being a gangster, you know, because the name of the organization is not only Gangsters Giving Back, but it's God Gives Blessings. Yeah. So once we captivate the minds of the people and get them to see things in a different perspective, then God will give that person blessings once they're doing the right thing for the right reasons. So I was in a party the other day, you know, with family, you know, blood family, my cousins and everything, and I'm like,
feeling yourself, you say.
Feeling myself. And then I thought about it, you know, you in a party, you nice, you right, and I thought about it, I'm like, wow, my cousin did time for a body, and my other cousin did time for a body, for a man down, taking somebody's life. We apologize, you know, we not living that life no more. But I'm like, yo, my whole team that I'm with got those type of charges behind them.
Got those
credentials. Those are the credentials of the people that I was with that day. And I'm like, wow, if something get out of line, let me be the voice of reason to calm things down.
I seen that post you have put up.
Yeah. Nothing got out of line that day. Nothing got out of line. We was chilling, we was partying, but I think like that because I'm trying to think forward thinking. That this is family, and these are people who are around, and you know that's basically the gangster mentality. You know, when it's war, seek peace, but when it's peace, prepare for war. You know, and everything was peaceful at the party you went to.
That's not Sun Tzu though.
I
said that's not Sun Tzu though.
That's Sun Tzu. That's Sun Tzu. In times of peace, prepare for war. In times of war, try to negotiate peace. But it was peaceful. Everything was peaceful. But I know how the 7 devils could pop up: envy, jealousy, hate, gluttony, greed, and the 7th one I forgot. But the 7 devils is evil. People can get jealous of you. I'm out here saving the community, doing what I got to do for the community. denouncing gun violence, and people was claiming territories. When I'm doing my shooting responses, people was saying, calling me. I'm thinking they calling me saying, "Yo, we gonna support you." No, they calling me saying, you stepping out of line, you stepping on toes. Well, if I'm stepping on toes, you ain't moving fast enough. Move. You stagnated. You stagnated. That mean you ain't moving fast enough.
That's a little aggressive, brother. That's a little aggressive.
It's aggressive when I gotta save my peoples. I'm not taking no lives. I'm not selling no drugs. I ain't picking up no guns.
To the community.
And that's a fact. I'm giving back to the community. I'm saving lives, and I'll do whatever I can to get the message out to save my people. Even if I gotta step on some toes for activists claiming territory.
So that's gangster, you say?
That's gangster.
That's gangster, exactly.
But it shouldn't be no territories. I mean, when you're trying to
especially to save lives.
Same cause.
It shouldn't be any of that stuff. Someone should be calling you.
But look.
You should be doing it for the community. That's it.
Today,
help everyone.
Martin Luther King's Day. Yeah. Some people adhere to Malcolm. Some people adhere to Martin. Some people adhere to Marcus. Some people adhere to Muhammad. You know.
Yeah.
Each whatever ideology you adhere to. Let's take it down to numbers. Let's take it down to the number 10. It's different ways again to the number 10. 5 plus 5 equals 10. 2 plus 8. 1 plus 9. 0 plus 10. These are different methods of getting to 10, but we all trying to achieve the same outcome. Martin, Malcolm, Marcus, and Muhammad was all trying to achieve the same outcome: freedom, justice, and equality for our people. But
so
the
division was
really
great. A 1 then. So the 10 is really a 1 because we all moving as 1.
We all moving as 1. It's just different ways to get to that get to that 10. And people gotta have the perspective and the perspective and the hindsight to know that we can't let these people divide us with these seven devils. We can't let them divide us. Like, we all trying to achieve the same outcome. Get to the same level.
Read, man.
Well, this Nitty gets the bags again. My thing is, since I was 16, I've been involved with the Nation of Gods and Earths. But I mean, despite what I've involved myself in, selling drugs, gangbanging, I mean, I was involved in a little bit of everything. I was a big homie, I retired, whatever, but at the end of the day, my thing is I never forgot my foundation. And I mean, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, freedom, power, equality, God, build, destroy, born, knowledge, cipher. That right there was my foundation. That right there, true indeed. We get the cipher going. It's 360 right now. So I mean, at the end of the day, knowledge is the basic foundation of everything in existence. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because you look, listen, and observe. Right now, we got the cipher going on, and we're building. And this right here equates to who we are. The first question in the 1 to 10 is, who's the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, creator of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. That's the black man. But we don't really identify with our true identity, our true purpose in life. You know what I'm saying?
People are selling out.
True indeed. And then I mean, you got dudes that I guess deviate from, who they are, the black man. I mean, you got young dudes now. I mean, every day nowadays I look at these young dudes and I look at them and I look at the generation gap. All right, I'm 51. So, end of the day, you got dudes 31, 41. And I mean, we aren't really adherent with each other because I wasn't there. I was locked up. Like I said, a lot of these dudes didn't get the actual education and edification of what they should have learned, their experiences. They had to learn on their own. So now they look at me as like I'm either a threat or I'm somebody that's against them. And it shouldn't be like that. Because, so a lot of times, like, my objective is to, pass on some type of education, let you know what I've been through, my experiences. A lot of these dudes running on saying, they running renegade. They're doing what they want to do because guys like me weren't there to teach them. My thing is this: I have no qualms in giving you some type of knowledge, some type of experience on what to expect. I mean, I have vast knowledge. You want to know about CDs? You want to know about IRAs? I mean, come on, talk to me. I will listen. I will listen to you, younger brothers, and I mean, I will give you advice. It's a thing where we got to communicate. That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. We're all brothers. At the end of the day, we're all brothers. And I mean, I'm not trying to be, saying unapproachable. That's not me. I'm here. I'm gonna listen. So if you got something to say, I'm here, brothers. I'm here.
Deep. So what you think? I have love the gangster versus thug.
Like what you guys were saying before, like. Just _Peters.
He stay promoting himself.
Make sure you have. You don't even want one specific type of ads.
So it's just like when you said like the mobster movies were organized. So you said it was organized too. The gangsters were organized, and I think you could relate that, and the thug is unorganized. So you can see it as crime, right? Thugs unorganized crime, gangsters organized crime. They do the thing smooth and whatever, and don't get too many people involved in this shit. Like thugs just wild out, right?
Yeah.
And anyone that get hurt in the vicinity, they don't give it that.
Yeah.
Gangsters
exactly.
I'm just trying to do this one thing, that purpose, I get it done. I'm getting money from that and do whatever, or I'm focused on doing a certain thing, but not too crazy into the extreme of the bad side as a thug.
There's growth and development.
Exactly. It's growing in the development, yeah. And you can see like sometimes
the GD.
Yeah, and the thug doesn't. You can see that maybe the thug it doesn't is a product of the environment of where you were missing. You came out of the environment and you were able to talk. Now you come back and you try to talk to them. It's a different generation.
Of course.
Where that generation is wild now.
Generation gap.
And you can teach them. You don't have to do that shit to you don't have to do that to be part of the community or get what you want. You can do it a different way, and you can show them that that's wrong from your experience.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But some people don't want to listen though.
I'm gonna bring it up to speed to a real world model of gangsters and thugs, because we are doing a presentation for the real word, and we in the real world. So now,
deep.
Instagram, Tank Tarrantino. TANKTARRANTINOEVA is 101, nobody else.
So and now, giving back, of course.
Last year, during the Trump era, everybody was getting these PPP loans.
Everybody cashing out.
Everybody was cashing out. Everybody was on Instagram showing hundreds, showing his money, flashing, balling, fronting. I think those individuals, those are my brothers, those are my sisters, but they had the mentality of a thug because they didn't take that money and utilize it properly so it could keep continuously revolutionizing, generating.
Yeah. Use it for how you invest.
It's how you invest.
We were just talking about that in the car.
Yeah,
there
you go. You gotta invest, man. It's way out the matrix. I think it's way out the matrix.
Allow me to cut in real quick. All right, in America, your worth is constituted by what you can use as equity and what you can use as liquidation, what you can liquidate. And that comes down to
assets and liabilities.
That comes down to assets and liabilities, and comes down to land. We don't own nothing. I mean, if you do your homework, we don't have no distribution. We don't have no shipping, no import, export.
Logistics.
They rob us in Africa. That's the motherland. Gold, diamonds. I mean, every resource you can mention is a derivative of Africa, but yet it's not ours. If anything, we are being enslaved to work. Those blood diamonds and that gold, whatever. So at the end of the day,
slavery still exists.
Still exists. He made a valid point. I mean, at the end of the day,
they took you off the shackles.
Yeah.
And they put the shackles right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's true.
Right here, buddy. This is where your shackles at.
We're the consumers. We are the consumers. We don't own nothing.
Yeah.
Black people
And we don't spend money
annually,
within our
exactly.
neighborhood.
Black people annually spend $660 billion annually for Gucci, Louis, Mercedes, BMW. We don't own nothing. So come on, man. At the end of the day, when are we gonna start investing in us? Start being more productive. Stop being propagandized and stop being a consumer. When are we gonna be the kings and queens that we are? I'm curious. Hey,
Start today.
I believe that there is a great awakening going on right now within America, and I feel like we are finally at that point where we're starting to realize things. Like you guys bring up the Trump era. I think during the Trump era, more black people got involved in business and stock and enterprises than they did during Obama.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't like to admit that.
A
lot of money was spent. a lot of money was spent within the PPPs. You know, and like you said, like some people used it good, some people used it bad. We were just talking about that in the car about diversifying your portfolios in a sense. You know, having multiple streams of income. And now with these applications on our phones, it's easier to manage the money. A lot of us wasn't provided with that financial literacy, and we became financially illiterate. And because we did not have the means and the motions to get to certain places, we go back to what you were saying. We was in the basic mean of survival. It seems like we was doing basically what we had to do just to survive and to get to the next place. Being gangsters and thugs. So now we're elevating ourselves. You also go into the past where we were kings. Like, if you guys don't know that, there was a time when maroon people, black people, they ran Spain. They ran Spain for hundreds of years.
700 years, I think.
And they said that, quote unquote, they said that these people, their skin was black as night and their eyes were red as fire, and they rode it into our country with stallions. They took over. That's how they saw it. And the ones that wanted to maintain their color, they went to the mountains and they hid in darkness. Prior to them coming in there, they lived in barns with like one hole in the top where the smoke could come out, and that was their castles. Black people came in and built the castles. They built the mosque because they were Muslim, man of the moon, man of the sun. Because man of the moon comes from Muhammad, because they said Muhammad proved that he was a Messiah by putting a crack in the moon. I don't know if you guys ever heard that.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful.
Even in the textbook, they show you that black people was running things.
Yeah, so like they were the ones that introduced them to like languages, mathematics. They built libraries. They showed them how to domesticate animals. They the ones that lit up streets, created pavements in the streets, showed them education. Prior to them coming, they had only one school in the whole Spain. They the ones that brought education. They domesticated these people, and they saw them as the enemy. So it's like you taught the animal to be man when he was just mankind, like kind of man, and then now he done tricked you and you the reverse roles. That's why he keeps saying the world's turned upside down. So
that's why I say the world's only gonna get worse.
So now we at a state where like we're waking back up to self. The Bible, let man know thyself. And it's because we lost ourselves in some, whether it was the Willie Lynch syndrome, whether it's drugs, whether it was the penitentiary, whatever it is. Now we're trying to give it back. Gangsters giving back because we're gangster enough to step up and be like, alright, I'ma take it. Just like how Christ stood up and was like, alright, I'ma take it. And who was on the cross with? Gangsters, thugs, it's full circle.
You don't stand for nothing, you get a fool by
Look, I'm gonna tell you how this, right? A lot of those activists, they not actively in the streets with those that they need to be in the streets with. I'm actively around the people that need the help. When Jesus, that's a fact. Jesus was around the prostitutes. He was around the beggars. He was around the decrepit. He was around the worst of the worst because they would adhere. They needed help and they needed to adhere to his message. I don't mind being around the worst of the worst. Stop fearing our youth. The 17 young individuals, 14, 15, 16-year-olds that was recently incarcerated in that RICO bill. Second day of Eric Adams' term of the new year. They was participants of the program that I was once a part of.
Oh, they were participants of G.A.N.G.S.T.E.R?
They was. I got pictures with them brothers and them sisters that was locked up. 13, 14, 15-year-old. We've been trying to help them, but they was investigating for 2 years, interceding in our efforts to reform their minds and change the narratives. So, you know, it's a lot of obstacles, and I'm not gonna let those obstacles stop what I'm doing, because I'm a gangster giving back. Thank y'all. Thank Tarrantino forever on Instagram.
There you go. There you go.
Don't
forget
Nitty.
Nitty get the bags, and let me piggyback off my brother. All right,
do pigs, bro.
My brother right here. He, you know what I'm saying, I've known him since 2013, and he has been a sincere, dedicated, persevering brother. You know what I'm saying? It's no faking him. You know, I have nothing but sincere love for this man, because he has lived up to the expectation. There's no, you know what I'm saying, there's no talking it. You know, it's all about walking it with him. So I mean, my thing with him, he's involving me gradually, because I mean, I'll be honest, I'm rough around the edges. I don't know, saying the gun violence thing, you know what I'm saying?
He said, what's a podcast?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I asked, what's a podcast? I'm still new to this. I'm still new to this, people. But I mean, you know, my thing right now, it's three type of people. It's three type of people in this world. Those that watch what's happening, those that talk about what's happening, and those that make things happen.
Yeah.
So I mean,
don't know what's going on.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Mr. Tank Tarrantino, forever on Instagram, is a brother that, you know what I'm saying, I can vouch for. You know what I'm saying? I don't give my seal of approval to everybody, because everybody's not worthy. I've been around the best. And I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I've seen a lot of come, I've seen a lot of go. But I mean, the brother, he is a survivor. He's persevering, and he lives up to the expectation. So everybody else, I can't speak on them because I don't know them. I know him personally, and that's all I have to say.
All right.
Salute.
All day.
Good.
No check mark, but still verified.
So based on your island background, because you're from the islands, like in, you know, we're more so talking about Brooklyn and New York and the environment, the concrete jungle, and you're from the actual jungle. Me as well. So what do you feel like the difference? Because I know the definition of thug or gangster back in your country is different from how we define it here.
Yeah, just all bad stuff towards gangsters and thugs. Sometimes they even go crazy and be a Rasta.
Shout out
because they think like they're bad thing associated with Rasta. Sometimes they're smoking weed all the time, but that's something from Earth, you know. It's good. It's
natural.
Let me
It's
ask
all
you.
natural.
I'm from Guyana, so I'm
Oh, got it. Okay, got you.
Growing up, like, if I wore my pants, you know, in the 90s and stuff, when I was like junior high, whatever.
Shatta?
Yeah, you wear your pants below your ass. Like my mom I remember one time going to school, my uncle called me all the way back to tell me to pull my pants up. I'm like, I was all the way down the block. I was like, Ivla, come back here, boy. What wrong with you? Pull up your pants. I'm like, I'm like, damn. But like that was the style, you know. You growing up watching, Biggie and everyone, all the rappers, P Diddy, you know. Like,
I'm happy that style is done, bro.
I know, but now it's like tight jeans and like sometimes it's still sagging, but like I don't really do that. But like, gangster and thug is like that's the bad words in the family, you know. Like
I agree.
You know, they come in, they want you to either go into trade or do nursing.
Doctor, lawyer,
my stepmother, she from Belize. She Belizean.
Yeah. Belizean.
I grew up with her.
Same thing.
So I already know. I already know like mentality that you
they're still pushing to me. They're still pushing to me for about like a city job. I'm like, I got a job already. Go do a city job, Long Island Railroad hiring. I'm like, do I look like I want to drive a damn fucking train? Do I look like I want to drive a train?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So what you want to do with your life? Like, what's your dream job?
Yo, I just want to have a bunch of successful businesses for my investments and stuff. Yeah.
You want to be the next Tom Cruise?
Black Bruce Wayne.
Good
right?
check. Acting on
You
it.
know, it's like have these different businesses.
I know
If you have like one in your community where like you can introduce them to healthier food and stuff. You know, I do my cooking shows. Like I do like stuff that keep me in shape for this role as an actor or whatever.
You was in the Matrix?
No, not in the Matrix. I was on what's it? Boardwalk Empire, HBO.
Oh,
Empire.
okay, all right.
I worked close with Michael K. Williams. He recently died. Rest in peace.
Okay, rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace.
I was worked with him for like 3 years. Like he was man honor and everything. He's from Caribbean too. He's family from the Bahamas.
Okay, all right.
Local Brooklynite also, but like
Flatbush.
But like they want you to get into those things, but at the same time, I embrace what you're doing, and you rename the term gangster, and you can rename the word thug. Anything you can rename it and put a positive twist on it. But like, it doesn't have to be like the original thing, you know.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I dig that.
That's a fact.
You can always rename it and make it positive.
There you go.
It's positive energy. You know, that's it.
It's never too late to be positive.
Me, even in our country, which is Haiti, like where we're originally from, like there's people that seen as thugs and gangsters, and they feel like they're the ones that's protecting the government, that's protecting the people, because the government is, corrupt. Not taking care of the people, is corrupt. Yeah. And they say basically now it's the gangs that control the rules, that control like certain towns, that runs everything, and they're like, if the gang says don't eat, you don't eat type thing. So it's like power oftentimes corrupts, so it depends on how you wield that power. You see, if we go to like the Genovese family, like the mobster people, we see how like they had different times underneath different leaders. Like they had Persico, they had Mylansky, they had John Gotti, all them was moving different, even Al Capone in Chicago, like he was violent. Yeah. So it's like they all had their different ways of how they wield the sword. And now we're looking at it now. Now speaking to Ace about this, to bring it full circle, we was talking about like our denomination, which is the SDA community, and me and Ace was talking about it, and we was talking about like because of the things we did outside the church, it brought us notoriety within the building now. And on top of that, like, we elevate ourselves spiritually, and we applied the education of modern man. Like me, I went and obtained a master's at the school of the Jesuits, and I'm coming back to the religious institution with the same education. So it's like they edified me to a higher position. So it's like me, I'm taking it full force within this avatar that I'm in now.
Gotcha,
you understand? So I'm applying it within this matrix. Yeah. Like that's your word now. So like, the other day, Ace said we went to a convention, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna sit front row. I'm gonna let them feel my presence and my energy in every room. Yeah. And then I was telling Ace afterwards, like, yo, I prepped for this. Like I got this suit tailored. I put this outfit together. I made sure that this tie was clean. I put everything together and prepared it, and I made it look effortless. Like in the 48 Laws of Power, you're supposed to hide everything that you do behind and make it look effortless publicly. So then now, me and Ace was talking, Ace was like, yo, it seems like now you wield the power. And I was like, yeah, but that's the responsibility that you have now. Because now that you have this sword, or you have this gun, or you have this power, like Nas, I gave you power when he had the gun. And it's like, now what are you going to do with it? Will you will it for good or for evil? That's one thing my mother always said. She was like, yo, if you use your powers for good, you would have been able to achieve so much more. Which is true, because when I did, that's when the real word and everything else came full circle. We're in the cypher right now. So now that we applying this, your life came full circle, and since that now you went through everything that you went through, first circle, now Gangsta is giving back. You Nitty get them bag, now you back out here. Now you said you still working on yourself, and you still attending Nyack College, and you still doing all these things, and you keep on building yourself. Now you getting accustomed to all these things out here now.
See, a lot of times what we do, we fail to do an introspection of ourselves, to really look at our weaknesses, our strengths.
Audit.
And exactly, and by doing that, you get to know who you are. A lot of dudes put on facades. They try to be somebody they're not. People have insecurities. And I mean, I'm looking at the new dudes, the new generation. No offense, brothers.
Nah, I definitely agree with what you about to say.
It's a thing where now I'm looking at the young dudes where they compensate for lack of game by buying a female a pocketbook or getting a pair of Burberry's or whatever. Instead of like
price went up.
Talking to her. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what happened to stimulating a woman's mind? That right there to me is, I mean, that's fundamentals. Telling a woman what she wants to hear, what she don't hear, what she don't want but should hear. I mean, a lot of dudes don't do that. Females will listen, but comes a time nowadays, you know what I'm saying, where if you're buying her a Birkin bag or a Hermes bag, I'm with that. She's not trying to hear what you say because she's getting something, she's benefiting. And I mean, at the end of the day, you know, where there's no communication. If you think about it, another word for intercourse that starts with 4 letters and ends with a K is talk. Look in the dictionary, it means, you know what I'm saying, to communicate, the exchange of words. And we don't do that with women. So I mean, how can our women respect us? Exactly. Exactly.
Sometimes the girl may not want that bag, but she might want more than that bag.
There you go. She wants to communicate. She wants to get to know you. And you're not giving her that. So if you play yourself as a sucker by buying her this, that, she's gonna treat you like a sucker. Yeah. So play your position. Dudes talk about, I'm in my lane. It ain't tricking if you got it. But at the end of the day, my thing is this: why should I trick if I got treats? I got something to stimulate you. Women will go to a sex toy store and they will buy a dildo. They will buy lotions and creams to stimulate themselves. But if I'm giving that, I have a natural penis. I have a natural, stimulation of the mind. I'm giving you talk, conversation. If I'm giving you that, why would you have to look elsewhere? Think about it, people. Don't say we have to start communicating, start giving intercourse.
Don't switch the game, boy, y'all dudes.
So
we blame the suckers, though.
The suckers, that's what comes down to, the suckers.
So we at that time now, you know, it's been a great conversation, a great cipher. I thank all my friends here that's in the circle with me for coming out and showing respect to the platform and lending their presence to this podcast, this television show, this platform. So before you close out, gentlemen, you have any closing thoughts you would like to leave the people with?
You know, my closing thought is, the main closing thought I say, this is the shout out from, you know, for all the haters. Like, we all get money, right? We all do. It's really how you invest the money. So what they really hating on is, damn, man, how come you invest the money better than me? Don't hate, man. Just learn how to invest better. It's really it, because we all touch money and put out a lot. We all probably touched $1 million before, but
what you doing?
You don't got the $1 million in your hands.
Exactly. What are you doing, man?
You blew it.
Exactly.
And then once you blew it, now you blaming the next man. You blowing it like the man had a gun in your head saying, yo, buy this, buy that, buy that. No, you didn't. You blew your money, so start looking at your stuff, man. Like, stop blaming everybody else for your mistakes.
Exactly.
I've lost.
Communicate, educate, invest, and try to gain the knowledge to invest and do whatever.
Yeah. Take the knowledge first.
Exactly. The mind can do whatever you train it to do. If you train it to do positive stuff and learn more things, you can advance more doing positive things and putting out that positive energy.
Nitty, get the bag.
In closing, I'm going to start like I began, you know what I'm saying? Getting all necessary goals succeeded through extreme requirements. That's gangster. That's the definition to me. That's my acronym. Getting all necessary goals succeeded through extreme requirements. That's your mother, your grandmother, that's that woman, you know what I'm saying, doing her thing by herself with her 2 kids. Yeah. So I mean, getting all necessary goals succeeded through extreme requirements. That to me it speaks volumes.
For real, man. You know, there's a lot of dudes out here. They got a whole bunch of berries, but their mom still got the same code from where they came from Bahamas or whatever Caribbean island.
Here we go.
Tank Tarrantino.
You ain't gangster for that.
I just want to say this, y'all. You know, I don't know how many people and how many youths that I speak to on a daily will adhere to my message. But, you know, taking a passage from the Bible, when Jesus, he wasn't worried about the 99 sheep. But that one sheep that adhered to his message and that he knew that was safe and that listened, analogous to people, you know, we doing analogies now. That's the one he focused on. So I'm going to keep spreading the message and keep doing what I'm doing. If I'm stepping on toes, you got to move a little faster.
Amen, baby. Amen.
But I'm going to keep saving my peoples. Since I've been home, since August 10th, 2018, I haven't touched a gun. I haven't touched no drugs. I haven't did no crimes. So that's a blessing. God gives blessings. Sure. That's how I'm going to leave it. You heard? I'm going to keep saving my peoples.
Yeah, I got his back. I got his back.
Aye. And I just want to thank y'all all for being here with us. I would say hustle and motivate as always. Elevate your mind, body, and soul. Let yourself know thyself and master your mind. So we thank you all for being here with us today. We're going to close out with a prayer. Nitty, get the bag. Do you pray?
Yes, I do. My father's a preacher.
All right, go ahead. You got this.
Brothers and sisters, I mean, we are here by the grace of God. And I mean, you know, every day we exist, breathe, and do what we do. That's pretty much our undertaking. I ask that, you know, we take consideration of our brothers and sisters. We do not take advantage and misuse and misguide those people. So I say, let us be blessed. Let us continue doing what we do and, you know, live healthy and productive. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. So we thank you all for joining us. Good night and God bless. Thank you.
It's the real world. It's the real